Good evening, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you all to this discussion. Today, we have been tasked with a very important objective to deliberate and ultimately decide on the single best solution to improve health and well being in our community. We all know that maintaining physical and mental health is crucial, yet, we often struggle to find effective way to implement this in reality. Therefore, to start our discussion, I propose that the best solution is to implement enhanced counseling service. I believe prioritizing the infrastructure of our support system is the only way to truly safeguard our community. Let's first address why this is the most urgent issue. The current state of our university counseling service present a major problem. Frankly, they are often inaccessible. We're facing a situation where the students who desperately need help are met with barriers rather than open doors. This is due to three main factors: limiting operating hours, a severe lack of staff, and the persistent stigma attached to walking into a counseling center. Imagine a student facing a crisis at night or on weekend. They currently have nowhere to turn, or consider the student who is too afraid of being judged to walk into physical office. Because of these barriers, many are suffering in silence, unable to access the support they need. To solve this, we cannot just raise awareness. We must fix the system. My proposed solution is to drastically improve our counseling infrastructure. This involves three-pronged approach. First, we must increase the number of trained counselors. We need to improve the counselor to student ratio so that waiting lists are eliminated. Second, we need to extend our operating hours. Mental health struggle do not pause after 5 p.m. We need to support that reflect the reality of student life. And third, and perhaps most importantly, we must introduce hybrid and online anonymous platform. By offering digital option, we remove the physical barrier, and this allows students to seek help from the privacy of their rooms, bypassing the fear of being seen or judged. Why is this the superior choice? Because it directly achieves our ultimate goal, which is creating a safe, inclusive environment. We want campus where professional help is timely, accessible, and free from judgment. If we implement this enhancement, we sure that no student falls through the crack because they couldn't find an appointment or were too afraid to ask. In my view, we can talk about general wellness, but we must ensure the safety net is strong. Enhanced counseling service provides that essential foundation. What do you guys think?
I agree with your perspective. However, I would like to raise a concern regarding the use of online counseling platforms. What measures can be implemented to ensure the protection of students' personal data and confidentiality, and how can concerns surrounding potential data breaches be effectively addressed in order to sustain students' trust in these services?
Hmm, that is a valid concern to raise, but we have to look at the reality of our modern healthcare. Online counseling isn't a new or risky experiment anymore. It is the global industry trend. Since the pandemic, telehealth has become the new norm. We already trust app to handle our money with online banking, and we trust portal to hold our medical record. The technology for online counseling use the same level of end-to-end encryption. It is digitally fortified. In fact, I will argue that online platforms offer superior privacy compared to physical ones. In a physical setting, a student risks being seen walking into the counseling center by their peers or lecturers. With this anonymous online platform, that risk disappear completely. They can access help from their own room with zero chance of a social collision. So, rather than a privacy risk, digital platform actually provide the anonymity that introvert students are desperate for.
Thank you, Haikal. I appreciate your explanation and the points you have raised. Building on the discussion, I would like to share my evaluation on one of the solutions presented in the pitching video, specifically the proposal put forward by Yugis, which focuses on enhancing mental health literacy as a means of addressing students' stress and burnout. In his presentation, Yugis highlighted that many students experience persistent stress, fatigue, and mental exhaustion on a daily basis, yet often fail to recognize these symptoms as early indicators of burnout. This is a critical issue as unaddressed stress can progressively escalate into chronic burnout, ultimately impairing students' academic performance, motivation, and emotional well being. One of the key strengths of this solution lies in its strong relevance and timeliness. The presenter effectively contextualized the issue by drawing on both global and local perspective, including data from the World Health Organization and observations of increasing academic pressure among Malaysian students. This evidence-based approach strengthens the argument that student stress and burnout should be regarded as an urgent and legitimate concern. The proposed solution, the implementation of a structured mental health literacy education program, aims to equip students with the knowledge to understand mental health, identify early warning signs, and adopt healthy coping strategies. The suggested delivery methods, such as orientation modules, professional led talks, and awareness material, including posters and infographics, are both practical and highly feasible within the existing framework of educational institutions. From a feasibility standpoint, the solution is particularly compelling. It is cost effective and realistic as it does not require substantial financial investment or major infrastructural changes. Furthermore, it is scalable given that the same resources can be utilized for future student cohorts and sustainable as the knowledge acquired can continue to benefit students well beyond their academic years. Another notable strength is the solution emphasized on prevention rather than reaction. By promoting early awareness and timely intervention, mental health literacy initiates reduce the likelihood of severe burnout developing in the first place. This preventive approach also has the potential to reduce stigma surrounding mental health issues and encourage more proactive health seeking behavior among students. That said, one limitation worth acknowledging is that success of solution depends heavily on student engagement. If participants remains optional and passive, its overall impact may be diminished. Therefore, integrating mental health literacy components into compulsory orientation programs or academic curricula would significantly enhance its effectiveness. In conclusion, I believe that Yugi's proposed solution is well-founded, practical, and closely aligned with long-term student well-being objectives. With minor refinements to implementation and engagement strategies, it holds strong potential to meaningfully reduce stress and burnout among students. Thank you.
Okay, Jaya, based on your evaluation, mental health literacy focuses strongly on prevention and awareness. In your opinion, how can universities ensure that this mental health literacy program remains effective and engaging for students rather than becoming a passive or ignored initiative?
That is an important and well raised question. Universities can enhance the effectiveness of mental health literacy programs by embedding them into compulsory components such as orientation sessions or relevant academic courses, ensuring that all students are consistently exposed to the content. To sustain engagement, this program should adopt interactive approaches, including real life scenarios, guided discussions, and brief activities rather than relying solely on passive lecture-based delivery. Furthermore, involving peer leaders or trained student ambassadors can increase relatability and help reduce stigma surrounding mental health issues. Continuous reinforcement through campus-wide awareness campaigns and follow-up sessions would also be beneficial in embedding mental health awareness as an integral and ongoing aspect of university culture rather than treating it as one of initiatives.
Okay, I understand what you try to explain, but after watching the video, I think the proposed solution of student-led peer support circles is both practical and relevant to the problem of chronic stress and burnout among university students. The speaker clearly explains that although universities already provide formal counseling services, many students do not seek help due to fear of judgment or feeling that their problems are not serious enough. This shows a clear gap in the current support system, and the proposed solution directly addresses this issue. One key strength of this solution is that it focuses on early intervention. By creating small peer support groups of 5 to 6 students, it allows students to share their experiences in a safe, non-judgmental environment before stress becomes overwhelming. This is important because peer-based support often feels more approachable and less intimidating than formal counseling. Another strength is the low cost and scalable nature of the initiative. The solution does not require expensive resources as it relies on trained student facilitators and can be implemented either physically or online. With Counseling Center, the program can be expanded across campus and sustained in the long term. The use of structured conversation guides and facilitated training in active listening, empathy, and confidentiality helps ensure consistency and safety within the session. This reduces the risk of misinformation or uncomfortable discussions and increases the credibility of the peer support circles. Compared to one-off workshops or formal therapy session mentioned in the video, this solution offers ongoing relatable support, which can help reduce feelings of isolation and build resilience among students over time. However, one possible limitation is that peer support may not be sufficient for students experiencing severe mental health issues. Therefore, it is important that this initiative works alongside existing professional counseling services rather than replacing them. Overall, based on the video, I believe this proposed solution is effective because it is student-centered, preventive, and sustainable. It has strong potential to improve student well-being and create a more supportive campus culture if implemented properly.
Okay, Carrie. Based on what you present just now, I'm still curious to know how the effectiveness of the student-led peer support circles will be measured. Like, for example, how can we be so sure that they truly reduce students' stress and burnout levels over time, rather than only providing short-term emotional relief?
Okay, Cik Mat. The effectiveness of student-led peer support circles can be measured by looking at changes in student stress levels before and after joining the program. Simple surveys and feedback can show whether students feel less stressed, more supported, and less isolated. Universities can also monitor whether participants are more willing to seek professional counseling when needed. Together, these methods help determine whether peer support circle truly improves student well-being over time.
Thank you, Kerry. However, I would like to disagree with this point. While peer support circles may help reduce stress at an early stage, their effectiveness can be very depending on the facilitator skills and also group dynamics. Not all students may feel comfortable sharing in a peer-led setting, and some issues may still go unnoticed without unprofessional involvement. Therefore, relying too heavily on peer support could limit the depth of support for students with a more complex need. As we discussed earlier, student burnout has become a common issue in university life. From Group 1's presentation, I personally think that Atikah introduced a meaningful and practical solution, which is the time management and self-care workshop. And I would like to further support her proposal and why, and explain why this solution is both relevant and effective for students like us. Uh, Burnout among students often develops gradually. It begins with poor time management, increased academic pressure, and also the neglect of personal well-being. Many students experience constant fatigue, stress, and loss of motivation. Yet they continue to push themselves, believing that this is the simply part of being a university student. Over time, this mindset negatively affects academic performance and mental health. The time management and self-care workshop addresses this issue by focusing on two key areas: effective planning and also personal well-being. The aim of this workshop is to help students organize their academic responsibilities more efficiently while also encouraging them to take care of their mental and emotional health. This workshop can be conducted on monthly basis by the Student Affairs Department in collaboration with student leaders, and also university counselors. It can be offered both on campus or maybe on online to ensure that all students have access regardless of their schedules. The session would include practical activities such as time planning exercises, group discussions, and on stress and burnout, mindfulness activities such as mindful listening activity, which the student need to close their eyes and only focus on surrounding sounds such soft music or nature sounds. Plus, short sharing sessions by senior students who have successfully managed their academic and personal commitments also could give positive effects on to the student. Okay, what makes this solution effective is its practical approach. Rather than simply raising awareness, the workshop provides students with useful tools and also strategies that can apply in their daily lives. Students can learn how to prioritize tasks, recognize early signs of stress, and practice self-care in a consistent and realistic manner. This initiative also align with some several sustainable development goals, which is SDG. It support SDG 3 as it promotes good health and well-being by encouraging better mental health practices among students. At the same time, it contributes to SDG 4 as students who are mentally healthy and well organized are more focused, motivated, and also be able to engage effectively in their learning. In the long term, the skills developed through this workshop also reflect the spirit of SDG 8 as they prepare students for healthier and more productive working lives after graduation. So, in conclusion, I strongly support Atika's proposed, which is time management and self-care workshop. This initiative is not merely in a short-term program, but a valuable investment in students' academic success, well-being, and also future development. By supporting this workshop, we can help create a university environment where students are encouraged not only to perform academically, but also to maintain healthy balance in their lives.
Thank you, Chikmat, for presenting your time management and self-care workshop. I think it's a very practical and meaningful solution, but I'm slightly confused, like how we can ensure students actually attend and benefit from the workshop, especially those who are already stressed.
Good question, Shamitra. Thank you for the question. To ensure students attend and benefit from the workshop, the key is to make it easy, relevant, and also low pressure. The workshop would be offered in short session, both online and on campus, so stressed student can join without feeling overwhelmed. The content would be practical rather than theoretical, focusing on simple tools like they can immediately apply, such as quick planning techniques and also short mindful activities. When students see the workshop directly, helps them manage their workload and reduce their stress, they're more likely to attend and benefit from it.
Thanks, Shekmat, for your explanation. It's great to see that the time management and self-care workshop include activities and incentive to really engage students. However, I'm still not fully convinced that this approach alone will be effective for all students, especially those facing heavy academic pressure. And I think we should consider a strategic solution proposed by Kaisara to address the pressing issue of burnout specifically through the implementation of structured mental well-being support program. As highlighted by Kaisara, students and working adults are increasingly experiencing stress and mental exhaustion. Every day, many struggle to meet rising academic or work demands, often giving up sleep, personal time, and healthy routines just to keep up. Over time, this constant pressure can lead to burnout with serious consequences, lower academic or work performance, decreased motivation, emotional instability, and declining physical health. Burnout does not only affect productivity, it can also harm relationship, weaken overall mental strength, and reduce quality of life. A major strength of the structured mental well-being support program, its complete and well-rounded approach. Unlike programs that only try to raise awareness, this solution provides a full system of support. It includes stress management workshop, access to professional counseling, regular wellness activities, and flexible schedules or mental health break. This combination address both the mental and physical side of stress, offering individual not just short-term relief, but practical strategies to stay resilient and healthy in the long run. From a feasibility point of view, this solution is both practical and affordable. Many schools and workplaces already have basic support system, so the program can build on what exists rather than starting from scratch. Monthly workshop, counseling session, and wellness activities can be added with little disruption, and flexible schedule or mental health break can be adapted to hit different organizations. In addition, the program is scalable and sustainable. Once the system is set up, it can be extended to future group, adjusted for different environment, and improved based on feedback. Another important strength is the preventive focus of the program. By teaching people to recognize early signs of stress, providing coping tools, and giving emotional support, the program aims to stop burnout before it becomes severe. This proactive approach not only improves mental health, but also help reduce stigma around mental health issues. However, one limitation is that the program depends on active participation and support from institution. If people do not engage fully, or if schools and workplace do not commit, the program may have limited impact. To avoid this, it should be included in mandatory orientation, regular schedule or training session, and participants should be clearly informed about its importance. This will help ensure higher engagement and better result. In conclusion, I believe that the structured mental well-being support program proposed by Kaisara as a strong, practical, and forward-looking solution to the problem of stress and burnout. With careful planning, active participation, and strong institutional support, this program can significantly reduce burnout, improve mental and physical health, and develop a generation of students and professionals who are motivated and ready to succeed in today's demanding environments. Thank you.
Okay, so no question this time. Okay, so like everyone must really agree with the last point, right? Yeah, so since we are all on the same page, let's wrap this up. Thank you everyone for such an engaging and productive discussion. I'm glad that we can finally see eye to eye. So we all agree that the structured well-being support program is the best solution for this crisis. What makes this choice superior is that it is a complete package by combining workshop, counseling, and wellness routine. We are directly fighting the toxic hustle culture rather than just treating the symptom. So we aren't just choosing a quick fix, we're choosing a long-term behavioral change. And this is definitely the most sustainability path for the healthier community. Thank you all for the productive discussion.